Hey Soul Warriors, it is Tara and it's day 20 of 28 Days to Peace. Now, this day I had kind of a revelation. As I've been mentioning, I have not been focusing on my old stories and not focusing on the things that the events and the people I was trying to find peace around. I've been focusing on peace itself and focusing on my inner work and my energy. So on this day, my breakthrough was I realized that we all fall in love with potential. And what I mean is, like, when you meet somebody new that's a potential friend or lover or a new job, we get super excited and we love to be in love because it, hits all those buttons and lights up all those happy hormones that flood us. So we love being in love with love. So when we see a little glimpse of something that looks like a great potential job for us, or a great potential partner, or a new friend that gets us, is on the same wavelength as us, we fall in love with that potential and we tend to go all in. And I do this all the time because I go in as an open book and full of trust and a blank slate and zero judgment. And I go all the fuck in and I go hard. And that's why I fall hard sometimes. So I did this with a job, I did this with the man, I did this with the friend. I fell in love with potential. And then we get to see glimpses of it throughout as we start going through, getting into the dregs of the job, getting into the friendship where you really, really start to get to know the person or the relationship. And you keep seeing little glimpses of that thing, that potential that you fell in love with. So you're like, oh, okay, it's still there. And, I can disregard this little red flag or disregard that thing that I don't really jive with because there's this juicy thing that I absolutely love. And I find that we either end up staying in things way too long, way past when it's good for us, or we just give up too easily. A lot of people that we coach, we find that they're like, oh, red flag, peace out, I'm done. And they don't give it time to shift and shake out. Because sometimes it's just, the getting to know the new person, or you started off so strong that it has to backslide a little bit into a sense of normalcy between the two of you or between you and the job. So some people give up too early, some people stay in too long. So I was just sitting with this in silence and I came up with these really awesome questions. So if you have a situation that you're trying to figure out, if you need to head for the hills as quickly as possible, or you need to stay in it a little bit longer, I want you to ask yourself these questions. I'm going to read them from my journal, so that's why I'm looking down. Have you put in your part? So just take a second and think about that. Have you put in your effort and your part into this friendship, this relationship, and this job? Have you taken action? That's another good thing. I mean, have you just let it be what it is and not made an effort to talk to your boss more at work, or made an effort to get to know your coworkers, or made an effort to set up the next meeting with the friend, or ask deeper questions so you can get to know different things and not just the surface things. Have you taken action? Next question, have you followed through on whatever you know deep inside you should do? Are you getting a good gut pull one way or the other and you're not taking action on that and you're not listening to those gut instincts? If you answered no to any of these, no, I didn't put in my part totally. No, I didn't take complete action. I kind of sat back and watched where it was going to end up. Or no, I haven't followed through on those gut pushes, little gut instincts that I've been getting. If that was no answer to any of those three of those, it's time for you to step up. It's not time to jet and head for the hills yet. It's time for you to go all in and see if the potential can come to fruition. Now, if you answered yes to all of these, which I did, I put in my part, I put in extra effort on all these things. And yeah, I was listening to those gut things and I was trying to follow the energy as well as I could. So yes, and yes for me. So if it's yes, I wrote a lot on this day, then it's time to do a gut check. Really check in, because potential is only little glimpses and little moments. So ask your soul, is it time for me to create space for new potential to come into my life? And when I sat around the job, the friendship, the relationship, I knew a lot of times it was time to create space for new things in my life, but I clung to the potential of the love of these things, or the potential I saw back at the beginning, or the moments that did light me up at the beginning, and I wanted those back. So I kept trying to recreate something in the past instead of focusing on where we currently were at. So ask your soul if it's time for you to create space for new potential to come into your life. And then do not confuse the answer with your ego screaming the loudest in the background. Because my ego was like, oh, I'm not going to fail and I'm not going to give up. And, they're just going through a bad time. And, I can handle it. It's not a big deal. They only did that or said that because, and I made 800 excuses for the other people or for the job. Because my ego was like on crack that I could make everything work. And that is not true. And please don't confuse it with it's your heart or your gut, because it is pure ego 99% of the time. If you're not having an easeful time with something, most of the time it's your ego keeping you into it. So check the ego, bless and release what is not working for you anymore, grieve and heal, and then open and allow. So bless and release, like get out of the situation, get away from the people that aren't supporting or are negative in your life. Grieve and heal from anything that you need to around those people or that situation, and then open and allow new things to come in. Those were my 3 steps at the end that I got through. And I was stuck for a long time. I did the bless and release thing over and over and over again. And I kept going into grieving and healing. And then I'd go back into the story. So I'd have to start over at bless and release and go back through grieving and healing ad nauseum. And I'm like, when do I get to the I feel at peace and life moves on part? But it was the opening, allowing, and truly knowing I released these energies so that new things could come in, and that my intention and my stories were around new things coming in, instead of again beating the same old stories, because that ego part of me still wanted those old things, or still thought it needed those old things. And oh gosh, it so didn't. So not aligned with those things anymore. So bless and release, grieve and heal, open and allow. And if you get stuck on any of the steps, please hit Wolf and I up, because that's why we are here to help walk beside you. We've been through it. We've come out the other side. So don't fall in love with potential if you can at all help it, but we all do. It's just a fact. It's the way we're built neurologically. It's the way the hormones flow within us. But when you fall in love with potential, just be really super sure that you are listening to that gut and making sure the energy is aligning with yours. All right, so bless and release, grieve and heal, and open and allow. And that is day 20. I will see you tomorrow for day 21. Thanks so much, Soul Warriors. Much love to you. Bye.